So let's get into it. Pre-market analysis. What is happening right now? Right now, ES just broke structure on the daily time frame to the downside. I'm trying to see where we could possibly retrace in order to continue back to the upside, because overall trend is bullish. However, right now we are breaking structure to the downside, and we are within this weekly fair value gap, this weekly imbalance. My current possible thought process would be we liquidate even lower, possibly sweeping out a daily low, whether that be this low right here or even this low, which would be extreme, before continuing back to the upside. But I want to see how price action reacts to this 4-hour fair value gap we have right here. Seen a bit of rejection off of this level. Let's see if we can continue to reject off of this level, or if we just absolutely blow past it. That will give us a good gauge to see whether or not we'll be bullish or bearish. If we do, and somehow still end up being bullish somehow, with sweeping out all of this liquidity here, here, my next possible retracement would be this hourly fair value gap, this hourly imbalance, before possibly then continuing to the upside. I always say possibly because we have no idea what market wants to do even right now. It could come down, simply just take out these lows or trace for this 4-hour fair value gap. The next thing you know, we have a market structure shift in the lower time frame, showcasing to us that we want to be bullish, whatever the case is, right? 15-minute, this is how it's looking. Hourly, we did come up, take out these highs, are pushing to the downside. News data release. Today is ADP NFP, which is typically one of the days I hate most, primarily because of how it affects price action. But we'll see if we get a solid setup, and if not putting any risk on the table. Right now we have crude oil inventories at 7:30 a.m. That shouldn't affect the market too much, but we'll still be looking for setups before then. However, we're going to continue to see how the lower time frames develop, whether or not we showcase any sign of a sweep and a change of character back to the upside or a market structure shift. And if we continue to the downside, we will also play sells. Overall trading bias, bearish as of right now. Bearish to bullish would be our I don't know how to describe it, like switch trade bias on the day. So our overall bias is bearish, but if price action showcases bullish confluence, then we'll be willing to switch our bias to bullish. I never keep a full strict bias. I always adjust to what the market's showcasing to me. So right now I want to see these lows get taken out if we are bullish, and if not, then this sweep is 100% valid and we're going to continue to the downside. NQ is basically doing the exact same thing, so nothing too special here. However, we did come down and take out this 4-hour sell side liquidity yesterday. Also, that being daily sell side liquidity. So we're going to have to also see what price action wants to do there, whether or not it wants to push back to the upside. 4-hour right here failed to change character back to the upside and instead swept this out. So like I said, I am bearish as of right now for the day. My bearish draws liquidity, I'm not yet sure, to be honest, primarily because price action hasn't fully developed yet in order to help give me confluence. But I'll check back with you guys as price action continues to develop structure. My thought process as of right now, what is price action doing? Price action is currently pushing to the downside. Looks like we are making a retracement for that 1-hour fair value gap. However, we're going to continue to have to see what it wants to do. From the 5-minute imbalance on ES and NQ right here, NQ did have a micro time frame still set up to the downside. Right now we're watching this price continues to develop as far for value gap. 1 hour NQ NQ. This was the micro time frame sell setup market open. Price action came up, took out these 1 minute highs, retraced for this 15-minute fair value gap, which was actually a pretty solid setup. Then changed character to the downside 937. This would have been a possible entry for somebody looking to get into a short position, targeting whatever drawn liquidity. And that's something we're looking for today. Or at minimum, trade retracement, giving something along those lines. We're going to be cautious about any buys at the moment. In order for price action to showcase to us a true market structure shift, we will have to change character on the 1 minute time frame back to the upside. If we do see price action starting to validate our bullish bias and invalidate any bearish retracements we could make, which we won't really know until around here. We're going to analyze and see what price action does. We did just take out these draws liquidity, and yes, take out all of this sell side liquidity. However, I do still think we are bearish as of right now. I will not be looking to execute on any retracements within this 5 minute fair value gap, because I want to see whether or not our bullish buys can get validated. If not, then we'll continue bearish, continue to look for the selling opportunities throughout the day. As of right now, we're going to go in, continue to watch price action for a little. And I guess I'll record it and just speed up the clips.
Edge me till I do, so they can see how bad I'm off. Let me see what Ewing's like in Ohio, where it's full of sigmas. I wish you would grab my cat. I wish you would come and raise me. Take me to baby ground and let me tell him he's adored. He'll get mobbed so hard his edging street will be more. In other words, you watched me. In other words, I'm of you. You watch me go. In other words,
Diddy. Bro. Someone commented on my video from Equinox to Diddy Fitness, bro. Oh my gosh. I can't, bro. Anyways, price action is dead. Let's go in this recap. This does say live trade recap and reflection, but there's no trade. So I guess we'll have to ignore the fact that it's clickbait. But it's the only stuff you guys will watch. So anyways, so you've seen in the time lapse, price action was moving throughout today. We had formed an SMT with NQ on ES. This is NQ. I forgot what I was looking at for a second. You can go in and read all the text. I'll showcase it on screen in a second. But price action came down, took out all of these lows, all of these hourly lows for liquidity, retraced into 1 hour fair value gap, which we did mention. We wanted to see that change of character to the upside. Before that change of character on the 1 minute time frame, we wanted to get a 1 minute fair value gap retracement entry. Price action did not give us our exact entry. We did want to see price action retrace for this low 1 minute fair value gap. However, we did not. So that was a slight issue. If we would have been in the trade right now. Clearly. Caught the expansion to the upside. but we did not. Could have also executed here on this 1 minute fair value gap, but the thing is, if we would have had to extend our stop loss. Well, not necessarily have had to, but I would have wanted to, just for the caution of price action possibly being able to make that trade retracement due to it being practically right there. So didn't get our trade entry in there. Price action pushed up, changed character. We're also looking at here, but I did not like how tight the stop loss was. Price action still had a reason to retrace for the 5 minute fair value gap upon making this retracement, even though we formed a new 1 minute range. Although I did not want to execute on that simply due to price action and stop loss being way too tight. ES is a little bit different. I can have a tighter stop loss, but I typically don't like to have anything below, I guess per se, 9 points, 8 points. I think in that range from 8 to 9 is like my typical range. Anything below that, I'm more risk adverse, just due to being able to liquidate quicker, right? Even though this 10-point stop or this 6-point stop on ES is, 10 points on NQ or whatever the case is, right? Since they're double. Anyways, price action continued, made a new range here, consolidated within this range, validating this fair value gap, came up, took out this high. Well, upon sweeping this hourly liquidity out, I thought we would have the potential to continue to the downside if we would have changed 5 minute character to the downside and not simply just wicked lower, took out this liquidity and then pushed back to the upside. We would have been bearish, but we didn't even take out that 5 minute low at all. And then price action from then on continued to the upside, started chopping for a bit, just made one more push up, wanted to see a 1 minute fair value gap get validated, which I wanted to see get formed and validated. We didn't do either, so price action liquidated to the downside as it is right now. The only other thing I would be looking for on the day is short positions, simply due to the fact that we took out my draws liquidity. My draws liquidity have been hit for the most part. Obviously, I have one more major buy side liquidity on the day, but I don't know if we will have the potential to continue to rally up and hit this. I mean, I'm sure we will, but with how price action is looking right now, it's not worth taking any trade positions and putting any risk on the table, simply just due to the nature of what price is doing, which is absolutely nothing. So we're gonna go in, journal it. Let me pop up all the text on the screen. You guys can pause and read it now that we're not in the fast cut clips stuff. Time lapse. Pause and read it if you want. This is our entire thought process from top down. And then this was what was first on the screen, and this is also our entire thought process from top down. So you guys can see we were typing all this out while price action was developing. And if you guys struggle at sticking to a bias or whatever the case is, type it down. Record yourself, type it down, start posting online on social media. And hold yourself accountable on social media, even though you may not get any views. Shoot, I don't get any views, but it doesn't matter. It rewires your brain to be able to continue to follow your rules, because now you feel, okay, there's an expectation I should have for myself when posting it publicly. That doesn't mean going over risk, over leverage to try to prove a point to anybody. No, just trade normally, type it down, and then rewatch your own videos. That's what I used to do. So pause and read this if you want. Bam, bumbleclap. There you go. My overall bias for the day was bearish to bullish. Exactly what I said earlier. It's completely fine to have multiple trade biases. Well, you can really only have two. But it's fine to have an original bias and then have it switch due to price action doing something specific. This was really clean price action today. wish we would have gotten our entry. It is what it is. Still had a good time on the charts. Still was able to learn something and be able to understand how to adjust to specific market conditions. That is the lesson for the day. So that is all from me. Gotta go in and journal this. Go out there. If you did take any trades, go in and journal them. If you didn't, go in, still journal what happened throughout the day. Back to some more, see how we can continue to improve our trade strategy. One thing I really do want to emphasize, and this may be just me because I feel like I haven't gotten a trade set up in forever. I got 2 yesterday. But yeah, I've actually been trading all week. Yeah, never mind. So we're going to continue to see what price action does for the next 5 minutes. I lied, 3 minutes upon this candlestick. I lied, we're getting off. I'm too lazy, so I'm going to try to watch. And that's that.